The Zone Coverage Podcast Network.
The Andy, Luke, and Reef football machine.
Autobots, transform! I like this kind of party!
Straight cash, homie.
Starts now.
Welcome back to Thunder Oak, another Zone Coverage Football Machine, Zone Coverage Podcast Network. I'm your not-so-humble host, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine, and I have actually more than Eagles fans throwing full cans of Yingling and Vikings fans being heads up enough to catch them and drink them because that is a damn fine, tasty beverage.
I only ever think of it as like a Pittsburgh drink. I don't think of it as a, like, I guess it's Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's very much like an Appalachia beer.
Okay.
Yeah. It's their McGolden Light, except it's way better. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
I'm
sorry,
not gonna
Minnesota.
like stick up for Mick Golden.
Yeah. Which is just the most ubiquitous on-brand Minnesota beer there is. It's odd. But joining me is Arif Hassan, NFL, as well as Luke Inman, Luke_Spinman. How is everyone?
How dare you trash McGolden Light, dude?
Now, if it was like Surly, I would have been like, hey, whoa.
Some people just die for. It's so funny because I've been bartending for a while too.
Yeah.
Coors Light, Miller Light, Mick Light, Bud Light. I mean, let's
fight.
not argue
I'm a
here.
Bud Light man. I will fight you if you serve me a Coors Light.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's some people who
Have you tried
hard.
giving people the wrong? Probably not.
Do the blindfold thing.
I've been bartending over, 8-9 years now?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
I'm like, this guy just got so mad that he thought blah, blah, blah. And then, next time I see him, and again, it's just one of those, he's a regular. I can, we can go back and forth a little bit. And I'm not kidding you. Sometimes people will call it out, but 4 out of 5 times, nobody will ever know the difference. And I'll walk back and go,
Are you impressed when they do call it out?
I'm stunned. I'm like, dude.
That's Minnesota passiveness before the aggressiveness.
Holy shit, How did you know, dude?
How did you know? Well, because I care,
right.
Luke.
I bleed. Miller Lite.
Listen, hour one, we talked a little bit about the Rams. We talked a little bit about the Eagles coming in, or no, going out there, whatever. Emotions ran high. She really talked to me, man. It was good. But what'd you guys do during the break? Doing hour one now.
Cheese Fritos and...
I was pretty cavalier about something, but mostly I was just drinking this campfire mocha from Caribou. Please sponsor
thought
us.
about where I was in my life, just kind of reflecting a little bit in front of that vending machine for
Staring at a
38
pond.
seconds. Arif, can you look up what the Vikings record is against the Eagles the last, say, 10 years? 12 years?
Probably not great, but yeah, I could do it.
It's horrible. It has to be horrible. Because I'm sitting here thinking, when's the last time we've beaten the Eagles, or at least... maybe even beaten them twice in the last 10, 12 years. Remember, D-Jack and Brian Westbrook destroyed our dreams in the playoffs against Tavares Jackson. I think Asante Samuel had a pick 6 on T-Jack. We've always struggled in Philly. Remember Monday night, T.O. caught a bomb over Antoine Williams, or excuse me, Winfield. There's been a lot of rough over the last. So Joe Webb,
2009 to 2018.
So Joe Webb popped one.
Yeah. Then you got so that was the 2010 game.
So that doesn't have, okay, so you went to 2009, so that doesn't have like the T-Jack Monday
you
night
said 10
game.
years, 2009, 2018.
Yeah, no, I'm just seeing
come on, Luke. And then
The Time podcast coming soon.
Then a 2013 win where the starting quarterbacks were Matt Castle.
That was week 16 when Matt Asiata had 3 tugs. Cordell Patterson had a touchdown.
I think this is the year that both Foles and Josh McCown went off and like led the league in touchdown rate, and Peyton Manning was having one of his best years ever and was like 3rd.
That's right. Hooking up with Dallas Clark every other play. So if you take so that game was, so you got the Joe Webb Tuesday night game.
Foles threw for 428 yards and he had a 103.5 passer rating.
Why?
Wow.
Well, I mean, it was the year, right?
So so again, that was like week 16. I think that was kind of in garbage time for both those teams. The Joe Webb game was the other one that you said we won. That was a Tuesday night game, we know, and that was late in the season. That was us hoping we'd get the number 1 overall pick, and we screwed that up.
So trivia. Vikings got 4 sacks in that game, split between 2 players. Who are those 2 players?
Ryan Robeson and
Ray Edwards.
What? Why? If also Ray Edwards, why Brian? No. Jared Allen, come on, guy. Come on. I think it was a down year for him, so fair enough.
Yeah.
Just feels like, okay, I said 10 years, but it feels like over the last 15 years, especially if you take away those 2 games that really didn't mean much. Those are the ones we won, right? I mean, those
That's
are
fair.
I want the ones that, again, where there was a lot riding on the line. I think Phillies smoked us.
Go all the way back to 2004.
Random question: is there anything that the Vikings could do to make you stop rooting for them? Just like not like handling legal situations with players.
2-6 since 2004.
2-6. And really, again, I think those 2 wins.
Like if
moving to LA, I probably would have stopped.
Yeah, or say they go on a Browns adjacent type run for 2 years. Would you stop rooting for them, or would?
No, I just become really good at the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my dream, dude. Get out of here. Get out of my head. No, I absolutely. It's just. I mean,
I feel like
every year you get hopeful. The whole league does. You get a new draft class. You get new acquisitions.
I feel like cold weather cities and teams are like loser proof. Where you look at the Bills, you look at the Browns. Like, of course, they still cheer for them. But if you're bad in San Diego or LA or Miami, it's like deuces.
We're out of here.
Yeah, we out of here. I don't know. Maybe it's because there's less to do, especially in Buffalo. Just make babies like Jordan Matthews.
Isn't that part of Bill Simmons' like way to rank the most despondent sports cities?
Yeah.
That he essentially in the rankings docks like DOCK docks Arizona and San Diego because even though those teams haven't been doing well, like you're fine. Whereas Cleveland, Minneapolis, and Buffalo, like that's it. That's all you have. Which you can't include Cleveland anymore. It's only between Minnesota and Buffalo, unless you count the WNBA, which some people do, some people don't.
Championships. Hello.
Yeah, that's why I said unless.
Yeah.
Not a great year for the Lynx, by the way.
All right, so we're opening up the phone lines as well. I mean, what the hell? It's just supposed to be clockwork. They win a championship.
They lost their
cash in, cash out.
Didn't have 3-point shooting.
Yeah. All right, so we open up the phone lines, and we'll warm up with a couple of Twitter questions. This was from Kyle Wilkin, TDB. Why... That's it. No. Why wasn't D running more dime or big dime with Harris or Loca with so many Rams and routes? It's weird hearing Kyle talk about routes. Barr shouldn't have been in position to have to guard wide receivers. Well, we talked about it.
Yeah, phenomenal job, as always, of McVay setting it up pre a snap where it's one of those, hey, you got 2 tight ends, sometimes two tailbacks. It just looked like big personnel. So I can't blame the personnel that the Vikings then obviously counteracted and put, we talked about it in hour 1, like you mentioned, our 4-3 base.
Oh, am I supposed to be talking?
Sure.
No, I've only been looking at the caption contest answers. I have no idea what the question is. 4-3 base? Don't do it.
Yeah, that is all. From Mar Delicious 23, is it possible that Zim Edwards and the defense have emotional PTSD? Don't like that usage. From the roller coaster of first half domination, second half meltdown, plus miracle, plus Philly beatdown.
No.
Probably not.
I don't think that. Well, we'll say they're emotionally drained.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's an issue. Like I don't think that this last 6 quarters thing of the season is all that important, especially because the defense was actually fine, not great, but fine against San Francisco, and so like we're kind of fitting this like time narrative to match our needs. But the defense did really well in the third quarter of the Buffalo game, and they definitely deserve credit for it. Buffalo was trying to convert first downs, they couldn't. They tried to drain the clock, and they couldn't. Mm-hmm. They tried to score points, and they couldn't. They were forced to punt, right? The defense did pretty well, not amazingly, but pretty well in the second half of the Green Bay game. So, no, I don't like... Otherwise, I feel like the defense would just consistently be doing poorly. Like, yeah, they... had a lot of struggles in Buffalo. Some of that's related to the field position stuff that they couldn't control. Some of it's on them. And, they had a lot of struggles against the Rams, who are maybe the best team in the league. So
there's no way to know that.
Yeah.
Caller, who we got?
It's Hoodie. What's up, guys?
How's it going? I need to look right more, just like Trubisky needs to look left more. Apparently,
No, he's looked left a sufficient amount of times.
like too much.
I've been told.
Yeah. Caller, who we got? Or Don, what's going on?
Hey, it's Hoodie, guys. How are you?
Fantastic. How about yourself, bud?
There you go. Let's start that over again. Wonderful. By the way, Andy, you posted a video of, 2 or 3, 4 weeks back of you watching a white couple singing a certain song, and you gave the best embarrassment, disappointment nod I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
I need that in gift form. So, like, when the Vikings just screw up again, we can
the reaction?
that.
Or the fact that that they were yelling Prince's pussy control in a VFW.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. It was like one of my. Wait, Arif never saw this?
No, I've never.
Oh my God, Arif!
You got to send it to me, man.
See the Andy nod of just disappointment and shame and embarrassment. It's the best.
Oh, we'll look it up.
Wait,
Absolutely.
was that on the snap?
No, I'm
wedding?
pretty sure I put it on Twitter. No, we'll look it up. It was a couple weeks ago, but yeah.
So, my thought is this: I posted this. This version of the Vikings remind me a lot of the 1999 Vikings because I think they went into the season a little more confident than they thought they needed to be and not as focused. And I don't know if it's because whatever reason, maybe it's a hangover from the year before or whatever, but while in 99, Jeff George offered the spark. I mean, outside of everything,
they went to the division round.
Right, but they started off 2-2.
Yeah.
No, actually started off 2-4 in 1999.
Well, but they also started off 2-4. Both of those are true.
Yeah, they started off 2-4.
It's like how scores
they
a
brought
rectangle.
in Jeff George after the halftime of the Lions game, and they almost pulled it out, but Hansen kicked the field goal at the end of the game for them.
Then they went on a
Hansen.
Wow.
Deep pull.
Then they went on a 5-game winning streak. I don't remember any of this. I just pulled it up. Then
They
went on a 5-game winning
they went
streak.
on a 6-game winning streak. Then they lost.
I'm looking at it right now, man.
Night.
It's 5 unless you're counting the
yeah.
And then they lost to the Chiefs on the following Sunday night.
Yeah.
And I think they won.
That's
out
when
after
Randy
that.
Moss took a punt back
Yes.
in like 3 minutes left
There you
and had a
go.
little spark of our own.
Yeah.
That was fun. I remember listening to the
Holy
radio.
crap. Hold on. Greatest Show on Turf, 1999, the first Super Bowl. Division round, the Vikings lost to the Rams 49-37 in St. Louis. This game had everything. My God.
And you know
that
that
must
we
have
were
been a
up at
hell of a
halftime,
game.
17-14.
Really?
Yeah.
They took the
Wow.
opening kickback 95 yards, something called Tony Horn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, and they never looked back. But that team though, the '99 team, they struggled.
Yeah.
Like they just were not.
Right.
There was times when you shouldn't have won games when they did. They were blown out. Like in that Kansas City game, they were down 21-0 early. It's very similar to like the Buffalo game in that as
Who was
well.
that,
So this
Elvis
team has a
Grbac?
lot of similarities. The problem is we don't know where that spark's going to come from. Is it from Everson Griffin coming back? Is it maybe Zimmer giving up the play call duties? They need a spark onto the defense right now.
Right. I mean, it was like,
Going.
right. I mean, it was Keenum last year, right? He kind of, quote unquote, he was the spark, right? I don't know.
Do you think
Is it
pick
Cook?
6 would do it? Do you think like a player just having just a phenomenal play would do it?
Kick return.
No, they need Griffith back for like an emotional spark, or just they need a spark from that, or Zimmer just has to give a play call duties, and that might actually help out too. I think at this point, I think teams are obviously whatever he's doing is just not working, and having Barr on a receiver is just it's not doing it. It's just not doing it, and unfortunate for Barr, I can't believe I agreed to Reef on this, but it's true. Like you can't put Barr on a wide receiver at this point. You just can't. I mean, they're getting just torched by this. They are absolutely torched by this.
Hell of
So
a
there's
play
just-
call and design, and hell of a throw, pitch and catch too. But completely agree. Yeah, you can't have Barr running down the field on whether it's Cooper Kupp or Robert Woods. I mean, at a certain point, Rams are doing some stuff that I guess only the Chiefs are really going toe to toe with them. But yeah, I think safe to say, Hoodie, you're right.
Hold on, Hoodie.
Lesson is learned.
I'm still stuck on this box score from the division round.
Blitz.
So there was
Blitz.
9 total touchdowns.
Yeah, you didn't know. Yeah,
No,
and as a matter of fact, the Rams were up 14-3 like early. They scored like 2 bam touchdowns.
No, like the final score looks closer than it was because they were up 49-17 with like 5 minutes left.
What?
in
So
it.
they scored how many unanswered?
They scored the next 500,000 points
35
after
unanswered.
halftime.
They did hold Marcel Falk to 20 yards rushing, so there you go.
Yeah, I think.
How many receiving?
80.
I think I saw someone because a lot of people have been comparing this offense to the current Rams offense, and I think a lot of people were saying that the Greatest Show on Turf offense, just like they could just go off at any moment. They're like spark plugs. Whereas this current Rams team is like it's a slow burn.
Yeah.
They might both produce similar point totals, right? But like the Greatest Show on Turf, I mean, there's a reason for that name, right? It's way more
Well,
exciting.
the only advantage that they have, the Greatest Show on Turf is that tight end because they have Ernie Conwell versus, yeah.
Well, the question is, can the
Not
Rams
Jared
that
Cook.
offensive line of the Rams hold up? I mean, it's an older offensive line.
Yeah, but Worth is still freaking good.
Doing real well though. Like it's old, but it's doing it.
Yep. But let's see what happens.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
let's see what happens in the playoffs. Where were the Rams last year in the playoffs? They just disappeared, and they lost at home to Atlanta.
I brought this up last week. The Rams starting squad, both offense, defense, special, it's unreal. I mean, top to bottom. But depth-wise, and trust me, every team has to dive into the depth jar here by week 5, week 6, week 7. And I just think that is clearly their weakness or Achilles heel. So I'm with you, Hoodie. What's going to happen? I don't know. I think there's going to be such a big drop-off. Like, I love Stephen Weatherly, but you can't argue the drop-off from an Everson Griffin to a Stephen Weatherly. We'll see what happens when that happens to the Rams and what positions it really happens at because, they could be hurting and they could be exposed by other teams. Good offenses like a Drew Brees picking apart those linebackers, just for an example.
And who knows? Will the playoffs be too much for this group too? I mean, they haven't shown me that they can win in the playoffs yet. I mean, you never know on that. Also, can we pump the brakes on the Bears? Their 3 wins are against teams that are combined 4-8. So I'm against a Bucs team that Fitzmagic left after 2 weeks. And that in what? Seattle, who is pretty awful, and the Cardinals are the Cardinals.
Yep.
So let's see them play some. They got the Rams, don't they, this year? So I mean, I'll see how they test against the Rams against us. And let's see how they go on that. But I'm not.
Yeah, no,
I'm not convinced yet.
I agree with you. So I think. So that defense is probably a top 5 defense. I do think they're getting overblown because you've got a bunch of great highlights from Khalil Mack. Obviously, they've got a bunch of good talent. I'm worried about that secondary. It is not showing the same level of talent as it did last year with the same personnel. And so I think that defense is going to fall off a little bit. It's still going to end up being a top 5 defense. And I think that, obviously I've got my concerns about Mitch Trubisky. Him being able to throw a bunch of wide open touchdowns plus one actually really nifty, good looking touchdown to Allen Robinson doesn't tell us much. The Bucs have the worst defense in the league.
Exactly.
It's all
right. They lost Chris Conti. You think that would improve?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's they then started playing the guy who got benched by Chris Conti. So, So I'm really concerned about that offense from the Bears. So. I don't think they're in a driving position to take the NFC North, but I just don't think they, to continue this tortured analogy, have the gas to take it all
and
away.
they can't keep creating turnovers at the rate that they're doing.
Right, yeah. I mean, Khalil Mack is not going to get 16 strip fumbles over the course.
When they got 25 turnovers in the first 5 games.
What are you talking about? What about Tony Dungy's Tampa defense in 2002? Just generating turnovers and scoring at that rate. It's sustained for a year.
for a year.
Yeah, it's just not. I mean, Mac has been a great. Obviously, it's an understatement. It's just been an amazing boost and charge for him. But again, is it sustainable? I mean, history dictates no, it isn't. So,
keep your head up, Hoodie.
Sure. Hey, absolutely, guys. And guys, have a great night.
Hey, hold on, Don. How much to get you to change your name to Arif Hassan's hoodie? Arif wears a lot of hoodies.
I do. I didn't today because it didn't fit the whole aesthetic I've got going on. But because otherwise it'd be
also,
too much gray. I've got gray pants. Yeah, it is also hot.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't take that much. I mean,
think about it. Write a number on a piece of paper, fold it up, slide it across the table dramatically.
dramatically. I will, and then you'll give me the Andy nod of disapproval. So okay, that'll work.
All right, you the man, Don. See you,
Take
bud.
it easy.
See you, man.
All right, you got another call? All right. Next up is from stupid Chad. What are the odds of a team that starts 1-3-1 to make the playoffs?
Apparently
That's what I know.
Apparently around 25%. You take a look at 1-3 teams and 2-2 teams and split the difference between the two. It's 24.8%.
Hey,
Over the since 2002 when they switched to a 32 team league because of the Texans.
Not actually as horrible as I thought it would be.
Yeah,
To be
and,
honest.
you know-
when you're mixing in 1 and 3 teams.
Yeah. So you have to 2-2 teams, which I think this Vikings team is closer to than a 1-3 team.
Agreed.
2-2 teams are 36% to make the playoffs since 2002. So, that's not obviously amazing odds, right? Yeah. But it's a ton of those 2-2 teams, just didn't have the talent, and I think this team does have the talent. And I do think Mike Zimmer's a good coach. I just think that we've had some mistakes.
if you do want some amazing odds, mybookie.ag is the place to go because in-game live betting. It's amazing. The mobile site, wagering on the go. It is super easy, super breeze. The most rewarding player perks in all of the business as well. Plus, rock solid reputation. That means fast payouts. That means seriously 2 business days on the payouts. It's pretty amazing. Join now, and MyBookie will match your deposit dollar for dollar up to $1,000, 100% deposit bonus if you use promo code ZONE ZONE 100. Again, Zone 100 100 to activate the offer. Visit mybookie.ag today. Again, promo code Zone 100. You play, you win, you get paid. Vikings +3 all day, even at -115. Just take it. Shove the chips in. MyBookie.ag. All right. Another Twitter question is from RM Cell. How concerned are we about Kendricks? This play has been consistently rough despite not being highlighted as much as Barr on big plays. Did the overcoaching Zim referenced imply too much responsibility on the linebackers?
What do you think, Arif? I know you know more
I've
about
been
Kendricks than
pretty
anybody
critical,
else. So where is he failing at that we're not used to seeing him fail?
I don't understand it because it's the type of stuff that you expect to sustain itself year after year after year. Mm-hmm. He is getting, like I said, he's misdiagnosing plays. He's getting tricked on play action.
A little over aggressive as far as.
See, he's got his money, so he quit.
That's
just
it.
like
That's
his brother.
Kind of person he is. Oh my God! Oh wow! Wow!
I love how he just got suspended again. And Seattle's like, what?
But Seattle knew this was coming.
Yeah.
They mostly got him so that they had a stopgap for a stopgap for Bobby Wagner coming back or something, right? So they're fine. Hilarious that they were like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, I don't know because this is the kind of stuff that you just expect stays with the player.
Yep.
And so the kind of mistakes he's making are not like, hey, maybe he's injured and overrunning plays because he's trying to make up for the injury, or maybe he can't plant and cut. No, he seems fine, right? We can have this conversation about maybe Bars and physically where he was his rookie year, and I'd be open to that. That doesn't seem to be the case for Kendricks. And so I am I'm kind of at a loss as to how this happens. And so I'm concerned, but I have no idea if it's a sustainable concern or not, right? So yeah, my intuition, if I were forced to guess, I would say it's probably going to correct itself, and or Zimmer's going to find a way to coach past this correctness, whether or not it means just being hands off, or if it means simplifying the rules or whatever. But yeah, it's very unusual.
Yeah, and it's something that they're gonna have to fix in season because it's not like you're gonna bench him. Like we're gonna do play
Eric Wilson.
I'll take that, but more likely, we're gonna do bench him and play Gideon.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Probably.
Yeah.
Also, have they made a move with regards to Kentrell Brothers?
Does that seem like it?
Yeah. Someone asked me, or Eric asked us, because he hasn't seen anything, and he's usually on top of it. Yeah.
I think.
I mean, what's the guess?
Downs. It's got to be Downs, right?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because play similar roles. I mean, backup linebacker, special teams guy. Kentrell Brothers is far more advanced on special teams. I actually think him being back will help shore up some of the coverage units, especially punt coverage.
Yeah, he's a pretty good special teamer. It's weird though. Eric Wilson's also a really good special teamer, and he's been spectacularly bad.
Yeah. Well, because he's out there alone, doesn't have his running mate.
Yeah, right.
Also, I mean, Cheryl's being out too.
Yeah, that is really significant. Yeah.
Yeah. Although it does sound like he's going to be on track to play with the ribs. Yeah. Oh. Hello, caller. Who we got?
Hello?
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
What's up?
This is Fred. What's going on, players?
Fred.
What's up, Freddie Funk? It's Freddie Funk. You got a guest with you?
Oh, that's my Smokey. No way.
Nice. What's cooking over there?
All right.
We're just kicking it, having a couple grain belts.
Hey,
All right.
I'm Brian.
Well, we were just talking
Representing.
about Minnesota Brews, man.
Yeah.
Grain belt. Primo. Yeah, I was just talking to my sweetie. She was helping me with some stuff. We're trying to buy a house, so,
Oh, man, good luck.
Hey.
Good luck, man. Yeah, awesome.
growing up shit.
Awesome. Love it. What are you thinking about this game? Vikings at Philly. Not the best track record lately.
Man, Stella's got to get her groove back,
Mm-hmm.
Who's the
Man,
guy
I'm
from that
nervous.
movie? Tay Diggs?
I'm nervous. Hey, is Arif there?
Yeah, I'm right here, man. What's going on?
Hey, man, I had a question for you. It's related. So last week I couldn't get through, but I was listening, and I heard you say that. I think you said the fundamentals on the defense are good.
Did I say
and
that?
my question is,
Yeah.
did you ever by chance ever happen to work at Enron?
Oh. Yeah, you interned there, didn't you? Right out of college?
Yeah, interned at CEO. How about this? How about maybe if I use the word fundamentals, maybe that's the wrong phrase. The tools are all there, right? The talent is all there, and that is good to have and good to build on. The defensive line is playing pretty well. It's kind of the back end that you need to find a way to fix. And there's a lot. Trey Waynes is disappointing, or Kendrick's disappointing, Anthony Barr is disappointing, Xavier Rhodes is disappointing. It's difficult, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe fundamentals is the wrong word to use.
I feel like I don't even know that the D line's playing that well. We don't get any pressure. We can't stop the run.
They're fifth in the league, or sixth in the league in pressure rate. Actually, I was looking this up because a bunch of people have been asking me, "Hey,
dude, I don't need your all 22s and all that, man. I'm telling you, we're not getting enough pressure."
Okay,
All right, I'll let Zimmer know. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll let him know.
I don't know.
Well,
yeah,
Ferris,
maybe
they
the
should
D
think about
line's
it.
all right, but everyone else sucks. Anthony Barr got jumped by white boy Rick, for Christ's sake. He beat him to the corner of the end zone just like Blake Bortles did in the preseason.
That's true. Yeah,
It was ridiculous. He's not playing well. I don't care. He's not supposed to guard Cooper Kupp, but he should be able to tackle. Josh Allen, a year ago, he's playing against kids who are now like milking cows and folding jeans at the mall. Like, it's ridiculous that he's
time.
not that
good work ethic.
Yeah.
Barr isn't just able to just destroy these people. But whatever.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to disagree that like the Bills' loss is one of the most disappointing losses we've seen in a long time.
Oh, give it time.
Well,
Still a lot of season left.
There's no team worse than that's the problem though. Like, there's no team worse than them. Like,
Right.
Well, all right, let me look.
You'd have to win out and then lose in the Super Bowl by like 50 points to have a more disappointing
which
loss.
they
probably.
are fully capable of doing.
Yeah, I'll lose to the Chiefs. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
can't-
Mahomes,
yeah.
he looks good.
I like the
He
idea
got
of
picked
like,
11.
dude. Yeah, he's
We had
he's
14.
fantastic. Yeah, well, I don't think they were going to draft him, but
Well,
That was
all right.
Bradford.
So
Wasn't that Bradford?
the Dolphins started out 3-0, but they revealed who they are. So if they go on the skids and then you lose, like the Vikings are still in the playoff mix, Week 15, welcome them into Dolphins into US Bank Stadium, then just get shellacked
Oh yeah.
by Brock Osweiler.
yeah, after
Yes.
Ryan Tannehill gets injured again.
No, benched.
Man, we should bring AP back for one carry so we can fumble it in that game.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Remember the Colts game when he came back and he fumbled that one carry? Or maybe he had another. But... So sad, man. So sad. It's just like as a fan, you just want to have hope. You just want to have hope. And this Vikings, they don't want you to have hope.
Fred, you,
You know?
you sound
You
very
don't-
melancholy, man.
Yeah, normally you're pretty chill
man,
about
you
stuff.
got a couple grain belts in you, and you're buying a house with the love of your life. Come on, life is good. Your football team sucks, but it's okay.
Yeah, life is good, but being a fan sucks.
Yeah.
Nah, I try to forget about it. That's where these grain belts are coming in, but
Yeah.
it'll be all right. I'm like well adjusted though. Like a lot of these people, like they're fans of good teams. They think they have something to do with it. No, you don't. If fans of bad teams know they don't have anything to do with it, so they're just like they're more well adjusted.
That's
People
true.
in Cleveland are probably the most well-adjusted people you could possibly meet. I bet.
Yeah, just like you saw all of those mistake by the Lake Jabronis tearing apart those Bud Light coolers. Or Bud Light, yeah.
Most of the videos I saw were actually pretty orderly. Like they formed lines and stuff. It was pretty cool.
But like I said, people in Cleveland are idiots. They're not well-adjusted. So.
Well, they most of them are Buckeye fans, so you gotta give them a pass there.
Yeah.
Oh,
you gotta account for that.
And they got
Right.
LeBron to come back and win a title for him.
Yeah.
That's always bugged me about like, oh, we got to feel bad for Browns fans. Like, no, A, Buckeyes, B, LeBron. They're fine.
Guys, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, man, we could just be like Packers fans and just celebrate that the Lakers were here back in the 50s. We should be title town, man.
Well, it's
We're
like
the Lakers.
no, the Packers are like what Gophers fans should be. Gophers should point out, we have 7 national titles.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, you claimed one where you lost 2 games and lost the Rose Bowl, but somehow you're like, yeah, we won.
Well, they
like
were
dibs.
AP number 1, so
dibs.
you got to take it.
Title town. Bleh. These people. Well, if they had anything else going on in Wisconsin, they'd all forget about title town.
We're talking Making a Murder
There's nothing
season 2
going
is
on
coming out.
Yeah. Huge for them. Huge for the brand.
All right. Hey,
All right.
Freddie, keep your head up, man.
All right, homies.
Freddie
well,
Funk.
Godspeed. We'll talk to you next week. I think we'll win this one.
Hey.
All right. I like to hear that.
Love it. All right, man.
I really don't, but maybe we will win it.
Appreciate
Maybe
it.
we will win it.
See-
I hope we do.
Love it, Fred. See, that's
right,
him
man. Talk to you
hedging
guys.
his bets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good.
At Vikes Ginger, is there precedent to redo Thielen's deal after the season?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Compared to other top wide receivers in the game, he's the best bargain around, blah, blah, blah. Also,
It is difficult given the Vikings cap situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely precedent for it.
I meant to bring this up in hour 1, but like Thielen's on pace for ridiculous stats, but also
Hashtag on pace.
he's not even leading the league in receptions or yardage.
Well, that's one Michael Thomas, right?
Yeah, and also Julio's
happy
leading
league.
in yardage, which is a great.
Julio's what?
He's leading the league in yardage.
Is he?
But of course not touchdowns because never.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
Last time he caught a touchdown was a true freshman in the Iron Bowl.
What?
Yeah, back in the day. Bama.
Yeah, that's yep.
So Thielen's on pace for 160 catches, 1,892 yards, and 8 touchdowns on 224 targets. Which, if that held up, it would be setting the record in catches as well as targets, and it would be second in yards.
And then he immediately gets broken by Michael Thomas. But
You know what's crazy?
and that's happening
Michael
with
Thomas has
quarterbacks,
been
too.
targeted on 44 throws and caught 42 of them.
That is insane. The catch rate of that is insane. Beckham is
how'd
the
he
same
drop
kind of
two?
thing. Have you seen Beckham's?
Dropped.
Beckham has been thrown what they're calling like 12 quote unquote uncatchable balls, and yet he's caught every single one of them.
Wow.
Yeah, like he hasn't had a drop, even though he's been thrown 12 again, quote unquote uncatchable balls. He hasn't dropped one. Unbelievable.
Is Eli the Giants starting quarterback for Pat Shermer next year?
No,
Boy,
what?
I don't
Absolutely
think
not.
So
Well, like what
Ben
did they
McAdoo was right to bench him.
like? What did they do? They go in the
Snap
draft.
the streak.
I'm actually probably wrong about that.
They go in the
Man,
draft.
they snap the streak.
They try and lure. They try and lure Keenum after they cut him. Bradford.
Oh,
I like the Keenum
or
one.
Bradford,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah,
Probably not
you just
Bradford.
can't rely on Bradford at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just unrealistic.
I
Teddy.
cannot believe they passed up on a quarterback.
Teddy.
He will
If the
be a
Saints
free agent.
can't retire.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to use that top 10 pick. You can draft an offensive
Yeah,
lineman.
of course it's gonna be something stupid. Like they'll go back to the Browns days. Like they'll bring in Thaddeus Lewis as the bridge quarterback for Drew Lock.
I like Drew Lock.
Yeah, I like Thaddeus Lewis.
But
The
it's
pride of
happening with the
Duke.
quarterbacks, though, too. What you just mentioned with Thielen. I mean, you got 3 guys, Big Ben, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, I think. They're all shooting for Peyton Manning's touchdown record, and they're all probably going to break it.
Yep.
It just depends on who, finishes the hottest. Yep.
Yep. Caller, who we got?
Hey, it's Nick calling in from Monterey.
Nick from Monterey. What's going on, man?
Hey, so we saw Aldrick Robinson burst onto the team this week. And my question is that common where you have a backup quarterback working with a backup wide receiver, and then because Cousins was a backup in Washington, and the quarterback is thrust into the starting role, and then the surrounding cast he was practicing with makes their way into the first team. Does that happen?
Yeah, I think you do see that narrative a lot, especially in fantasy, where if a backup quarterback has more of a rapport, especially in preseason with like a wide receiver 4 or 5 or like a rarely used tight end, it's like all of a sudden that guy's got more value just because of who the quarterback is.
Yeah, I think that's the intuition for like fantasy writers. I don't know if that's been tested. I want to know if that ends up being the case because I kind of suspect it's not. It doesn't happen.
When Aldrick Robinson leads the team in touchdowns, you just wait.
Yeah, I mean,
on like 40 snaps.
But that would be that. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying.
No, I'm with you. Like it makes
just
sense.
saying it would be unique if that was the case.
Right. I mean, the chemistry should be there. Right. I understand. I remember when Andrew Luck got drafted, and they drafted Kobe Fleener.
Yeah,
they both played at Stanford, and everyone's like, "Oh, that makes so much sense. They're going to build a rapport right away."
Yeah.
And they went to like the other tight end that they drafted.
Dwayne Allen.
Dwayne Allen ended up being by far the better one. So I agree. Like it makes sense on paper, but it often doesn't really.
Remember the Vikings under Leslie Frazier would keep on drafting pairs from the same school like year after year?
Yes. Harrison Smith, Robert Blanton. Okay, another safety from Notre Dame. But
they got like
here's the thing:
2 Arizona guys, 2 Notre Dame guys, 2 Auburn guys, like 2 Arkansas guys, because they got Jarius Wright and Greg Childs.
Childs, yep. A couple of USC, Red Ellison. I can't remember the other one.
I thought we had a moratorium on bringing up Greg Childs on the show. It's like talking about the Seymour Futurama episode. It's like, no, it's like Macbeth. Yeah. Yeah. See?
What? Oh.
See?
Bring back Jarius, by the way.
Yeah, right?
Give me my wide receiver 3
He's
back.
going to lead the league. Or he's going to lead the Panthers in
Give me
receiving.
my wide receiver 3 back. Damn it.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate you calling in tonight, man.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Totally forgot he was still on the line.
I thought we were just talking Austin. Great guy.
Nick.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
From
Monorail.
Monorail.
Yeah.
What?
Probably should be Monorail.
Luke, have you...
Monorail.
Whatever. Don't worry about it.
At Chief and Ho, this is my injury report. So he had a picture of Adam Thielen broke his arm on Madden.
Right, and then Stephon Diggs was also on the injury report, and so was Dalvin Cook. Yeah.
Now, did you notice Diggs was still like a 91? Like he could play through the pain, apparently?
Yeah.
Like a dislocated.
But you know the splits between Diggs healthy and Diggs on the injury report. Even at 91. Right. But, all right, so say the Vikings did lose Thielen and Diggs. Like, that would be the 3-12-1.
Yeah, that would be devastating.
Yeah. Because, I mean, besides...
who would your one?
The Laquan Treadwell show.
Who would end up leading the team in receiving?
Rudy.
Don't say Thielen still.
Zylstra. Yeah, probably Rudy.
Yeah.
Or a healthy Dalvin would destroy. I mean, a healthy Dalvin would look at the league. I mean, guys like Kamara and Kareem Hunt. I mean, they catch 80, 90 balls.
I mean, like, so I assume for the back half of the season they'll take Dalvin off the pitch count.
Yeah.
But I think just that amount of time. Right, yeah, I hope so too. But that amount of time where he's still on a pitch count will prevent him, even in a world where like Diggs and Thielen are out, from in leading
80, 90 balls. Yeah.
So I say probably Rudy, and then I think between Aldrick Robinson, Laquan Treadwell, Brandon Zylstra, who's on the roster, right? Chad Beebe's not.
Correct.
Right. I should know these things.
Let's bring back Mobo.
Could bring back Mobo.
No.
Between those guys, which of those receivers do you think? Probably Robinson, right?
Probably.
Treadwell's got Robinson. A ton of targets.
I said Robinson, but then Treadwell would be going up against teams' number 1 corners too. Have fun with that.
Probably Robinson's going up against him.
Yeah, actually, you might be right.
Darius, Patricia's like, hey, Darius, you're going to be shadowing Treadwell. Why?
For what? For who?
What's that? Who needs help?
Darius, I am a rocket scientist. You will listen to me. I trim my beard for this.
How long do you think, if he continues to be like a bad, which I guess they'd be New England, but if he's like a bad coach, how long do you think he can use that flex, like I'm a rocket scientist, before it's just like, but you're a bad coach?
It'll look really impressive for Amherst, wherever he's going to be in 3 years.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's probably not going to be a college coach.
Yeah, probably.
Man, if you're not used to recruiting, starting to recruit, look at Lovie Smith, man. He grew like a beard and got old fast.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Tim Brewster didn't pan out.
Like Lovey looks like Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
Wow.
It ages you fast. The whole recruit, like you're used to. Lovie Smith went from coaching in the Super Bowl against one of his best friends in the world, Tony Dungy,
to 5 years later,
to going to Urbana on a Tuesday and sitting in the living room and eating some mom's like terrible cookies. Like your 17-year-old son needs to come to Champaign.
I need this.
Yeah, it's rough. Hey, caller, who we got?
Oh, Gil needs a sail.
Hey, caller, who we got?
Right. Cole in Utah.
Cole in Utah. What's going on, man?
Dude, I'm good. I just need you guys to tell me that everything's gonna be okay.
Man, you sound super happy. I don't know how much
Right,
we need to,
dude.
man. You sound set.
No, keep the.
You talk me off the ledge, dude.
Now, always be wary of the ones that are smiling, though.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
True.
Well, it can't get any worse.
Yeah, you're right. It can't.
Actually, Vikings hold my beer.
Yeah, I would not say that about the
Not
Vikings.
say that ever.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that given that the offense seems, this is such a weird thing to say. The offense seems to find a way to keep the Vikings in games, except against the Bills, and so there seems to be some unit that's always performing pretty well, which will always give you an in, I think, in these games. And I think that for the most part, they have the ability to. I mean, they have the talent, so they should have the ability to correct those problems. I think that if you take a look at like 1-3 teams or 2-2 teams historically, and look at the ones that have bounced back and made playoff runs, I think from a talent perspective, you can kind of actually see that the Vikings are kind of in a similar territory to those guys, whereas the 1-3 teams that end up like drafting first overall, it doesn't look anything like the Vikings roster or with the Vikings history. So, yeah, I think there's a good chance that they'll come back.
Oh, on a side note, Arif offered me the shittiest trade of all time in the North Code League. So
did I? Well, I gave you Njoku, right? Is that
let's hear it real quick. Real quick, let's hear it.
Was it Jordy Nelson for David Njoku, right?
So PPR?
Yep, that would be the trade.
Yeah. There's no tight ends in this league. I thought that made sense. Tons of wide receivers.
Is it PPR?
No tight ends. Yeah, I think it's PPR.
Is it PPR?
I'll look it over.
I think it's fine.
Send him a rebuttal.
Hey.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, see you, Cole. I think that was a good
Did
trade.
you know that's who it was?
Yeah, I have no idea. I just looked at who needed a tight end.
Yeah.
I needed a receiver, so
Fire it off.
he was benching Jordy, man. It doesn't matter. He was gonna start Njoku if I got him.
It's weird that Jordy's wearing 82.
I might have dropped Njoku, by the way, so he could just pick him up now.
If you're listening to this
I
tomorrow.
have George Kittle and Rob Gronkowski. I don't need David Njoku.
Yeah, you don't. But you should try to get something for him.
No, see, that's a
I
super.
needed a receiver this week.
That's a super gangster thing I love doing. Is like, since tight end's such a shallow position, get like Gronk and Kelsey, like overdraft them, and have one in the flex. Be like, what's up?
That's so nasty.
I love it.
What's going on?
That's so nasty.
We got a call. Oh, all right.
I was doing that with Evan Engram
did?
as my 2 last year, and Engram was.
Caller, who we got?
Hey, this is Alex from Baroqua.
Alex Baroka. What's going on? Are you making hard cider?
I've made hard cider. It is some of it is bottle conditioning right now, and the other 5 gallons is probably already be bottled at any point. So, yeah, I have an arsenal.
In my head, you guessed that entirely, and it's not because you follow like Alex on Twitter or anything like that. Like,
Yeah.
I just assume that you just guessed.
It's making hard cider season, and whittling. It's also whittling season.
Whitland season?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That's how people pass the
Sitting there
time.
whittling. You
back
look
in the
down,
day.
Just a pile of.
I gotta address the elephant in the room here. Alex from Kenosha.
Yeah.
One
Kenosha
sounds way
Kickers?
too much like me and is also from a small Wisconsin town. And I'm not sure this podcast is big enough for
The both of
2
you.
of us.
Well, I mean, you're not that far from each other, right? So you could just fight.
Yeah.
And you could do a battle royale. Definitely live stream it, please.
Also,
On Facebook.
Alex, having met both of you guys, Alex from Kenosha definitely has the reach on you, as well as height. But
Yeah,
you know,
that's all right. I'm
But-
scrappy. I
but
closed
heart.
this one.
Yeah.
But the heart.
You can't measure heart.
it's like Prime Pacquiao fighting a Klitschko brother.
So football stuff.
Sure.
Is this week against the Eagles? Is it a must-win game? I know that's
sure.
kind of like an obscure. I don't know. You can split a lot of hairs over how you define a must-win game,
Yeah,
but in your opinion,
Why not? Like normally I object to the idea most of the time when people bring up must-win games, but I mean, like, yeah, this one makes sense, right? Like, Yeah, 1-3-1. That's like pretty depressing. You can make the playoffs at what would it end up being? 12-3-1.
12-3-1.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can
If
just
you
win
win
out.
them all,
Right. Yeah, you
won
can just
them
win
all,
out after
sure.
it, but
Well, it's like
gives you no room.
At Philly, obviously, again, 1-3-1, like we've just said, not ideal, not the end of the world, because you come back home against the Cardinals, and after the Bills game, I guess you can't say automatic win anymore, but automatic win.
Here's what happens. Cardinals. Rosen rolls an ankle. Sam Bradford. Oh, wait, no, he's not even going to be active. He's not going to be active because they're trying to save money.
I don't even know.
Yeah, Mike Glennon
We
is.
can lose to Josh Allen. We can lose to Mike Glennon.
That's true.
It'll be a thing.
But then, Alex, you got at the Jets.
You can't start from that start. If you could lose to Josh Allen, you could lose to anybody. Like, you can't start from that starting point,
No, it's
man.
true. That's what I was saying. But
That way lies madness.
Hey, put some respect on third-team Mountain West quarterback Josh Allen's name.
Again, though, Arizona at home, then at the Jets, another rookie quarterback, Sam Darnold. Even if you lose a Philly, you're going to win those next two, right? 3-3-1. Then you kind of start all over at 3-3-1, just like we were 2-2 last year, and you figure it out. Hoodie called in, talked about we need a spark. We went on a long tangent about the 99 season. He brought up Jeff George, 2-2 start. Jeff George comes in, gives you that spark. I think even if you lose at Philly, you come back, you win at home against Arizona. You beat the Jets on the road. You're 3-3-1. Look for the spark on what? I guess that would be Sunday Night Football against the Saints.
Waiting all day for Sunday night.
Can you believe that? We play the Saints on Sunday night, dude.
Yeah.
October 28th.
Adrian revenge game.
Boss just walked into the room.
Oh, the boss.
We're due
Talk
for
about
a
write-offs.
Mike Zimmer gimmick
Write it off, dude.
motivational tactic. What's it going to be this
It's got to be
year?
a hat. He's already done shirts. He's already done
was the shirt
stuffed
say
animals.
again?
Yeah, he did the
Beat GB.
Yeah, which is like a pretty mild shirt, all
Yeah.
things considered.
No, it's got to be like The Office when Andy was the manager and he printed up those pink hats of DM does GB, does Dunder Mifflin to Gettysburg. It's got to be that.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be something like it's going to be totally off the rails, and someone's going to do like a Periscope or an Instagram live of it. It'll be in the locker room,
Right.
and Zimmer's going to whip out like a hand puppet of some sort. I don't know if it's going to be like a talk or like a ventriloquist dummy, but it'll be something where he is.
That feels a
like,
little too close to the stuffed animals, though. We gotta like.
Zimmer's
think-
not really a prop guy. Like he's much more of an observational comedian. He's definitely not going full carrot top on the bit. Yeah. So you guys ever notice that
Well,
when you go to
yeah,
McDonald's and they short you a burger?
Oh, my God.
That was pretty great, actually. What if he just
All right, I'll
offers
let-
to buy everyone Philly
I'll let you
cheesesteaks
guys
if they
go. Thanks
win?
for taking my call.
Yeah,
or
sure.
I
Yeah.
guess
See you,
by
dude.
me, I guess.
Yep. See you, man.
Yeah, actually, that would be a great scene. Vikings beat the Eagles 38-7, and then they just go down to, what's the cheesesteak place called? Like the one fancy.
Geno's, I think, is one of them.
Yeah, I think Geno's is the fancy one. The other one is actually better, but like
I
downtrodden.
mean, don't go to either of them.
Yeah. No, just
really?
go there. Just take the team buses down there on the way to the airport. Just see how the fans react. I would love to see that.
You mean the
my
tourists?
Yeah.
Is that the scene you're talking about?
Yeah. Did you see that the Eagles fans tore down a Viking statue?
What, a statue of a literal
Yeah.
Viking.
Actual
yeah.
Viking. And people were like, well,
It's like
wait a minute.
Thorfinn, Carl Sefni.
Was it officially like Eagles fans? Because I think that was the whole thing. It was
No,
like,
it was
the
an-
Viking statue went down, and we're
No,
wondering.
it was an inside job. It was actually Vikings fans knocked it down. It was like the USS Maine. Not like- yeah.
Yellow journalism took hold. Yeah. Thorfinn Karlsefni was an Icelandic explorer. Around the year 1010 AD, he followed Leif Erikson's route to Vinland in a short-lived attempt to establish a permanent settlement there with his wife, Gudridur. I'm not pronouncing it.
No, that sounds right.
Gudridur Vidforla Thorbjörnjar daughter. It does end in daughter, so I got that.
Dirty.
Yeah, Morg.
Yeah,
That's the Swedish chef, not.
Take my daughter's hand in marriage, will you? My daughter.
Yeah. So
Tweet that.
So that's the.
Wait, why is the Viking like an Irish pikey?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. That's-
and
that's
we
li-
didn't. I mean, that's not
I
on
didn't
us. We just do the accent.
Take the dags.
Luke, that's entirely on you.
Hey, you like dags? Yeah, for a caravan. Free me, ma.
The byname Karlsefni means makings of a man, according to the preface of Magnus Magnusson and Herman Paulson.
Actually, Magnus Magnusson is definitely a strong name. I'm going there.
Well, Magnus for Magnusson is a strong man.
Yeah.
So this Magnus Magnusson is not that person.
Yeah.
Correct. I don't know. Tweet that.
That was a great tangent. Thank you, Wikipedia.
That was good. Yeah. From at the Bird Abides, with the new inconveniencing the passer rule, why don't we see more cornerback and safety blitzes? Those more agile body types are better than the D line when it comes to mid-air acrobatics.
Might be right.
Penalty.
That was a minor, but a criticism of Zimmer actually at the beginning of the season that there were too many safety blitzes. So, who knows?
There was too many safety blitzes in the league in general, or the Vikings were running too many safety blitzes?
With Harrison Smith specifically. Yeah.
He was complaining about
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. It was a criticism of him.
Oh.
But there have been. Yeah, I mean, it seems to. There have been actually a lot of safety blitzes in the league. Derwin James has leading the league in sacks.
Yeah, let me look
right.
that up again, yeah.
We've seen a bunch of safety blitzes from Jamal Adams.
So that's Derwin James only has 2 sacks, but maybe as a safety?
They're all half sacks.
Got it.
So he's got. Yeah. So I'm looking at Pro Football Focus, which counts half sacks as full sacks because that is correct. But we've got a bunch of blitzes from Jermaine Whitehead, Harrison Smith, Derwin James, Jamal Adams, Jabril Peppers, Malcolm Jenkins. So we are seeing safety blitzes. We maybe should see more. I don't think that it's necessarily because of the rule, although you kind of have to adapt kind of what you're doing schematically to the rules. I also wouldn't be surprised if this rule goes away. This is causing problems.
I mean, just sort of like the targeting rule. There's only been 4 penalties called.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it was Armageddon in the preseason. Random tangent. Did you see the sack that Kyler Fackrell for the Packers was credited for?
Negative.
Where he fell down.
Oh, God.
And then he rolled backwards and Josh Allen tripped over him.
Oh, God.
Dope. That's the most Kyler Fackrell thing I've ever heard.
It's I forget who pointed it out, but it's I think they pointed out is the only sack of the year where the player had a negative grade on the play from PFF.
That is incredible.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Love that.
All right, 2 more, then we're getting out of here. At T. Carmoody 303, should the starting lines be Reef, Compton, Elfline, Brett Jones, Mike Remmers, and I'll start that one offensively. Yeah or nay?
What? No.
Reeve, Compton, Elfline, Brett Jones, Mike Remmers.
That's getting close, though. I do because you got Remmers at right tackle first and foremost. You got Brett Jones still getting your money's worth out of him.
Yeah, actually, I thought
not
so
huge on
I missed Elfline at center. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you got Elfline where he should be. Reef, obviously. I'd like to see Danny Isidora somewhere in the mix, but I'll take Compton right now because he seems to have the quote-unquote hot hand.
Yeah, that seems. Yeah, I'm fine with
that might be the best one I've heard so far.
Then yes, defensively, Hunter, Sheldon,
Make it seem like
Joseph.
there's 1,000 possibilities, and you're like, unique, interesting, cool.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's all we have.
No, it's like trying to set your fantasy lineup, and all you have is wide receiver 2s and running back 3s. We're just like,
who should I start here?
I mean, Nick Chubb, he had a big game.
James
he only had 3 touches.
Right. Say the D-line again.
D-line, Hunter, Sheldon, Linval, Anthony Barr.
Yeah, yes. Again,
no.
I think
he should not be
the starting
he should not be a primary edge rusher. He should be a blitzing linebacker. He's learned how to play linebacker for the past 4 years.
I want to see him hand in the dirt and again do the thing again. Drop back in the flats.
Yeah, on
drop
third
back
down,
in a hook.
I'm fine with it. I think, but he's a linebacker.
True.
He's a pass rushing linebacker that does a really good job.
I think it's a new rule that you can't have a 4-3 pass rushing outside linebacker.
New rule.
It's in the old CBA.
Yeah. Rule.
Khalil Mack actually had a Defensive Player of the Year season as a 4-3 pass rushing line, or not a 4-3, but as a coverage linebacker.
That was weird because he played a little bit of both.
Yeah,
he was all pro. He was all pro at 2 positions.
Yeah,
he was stand up linebacker a lot.
Yeah,
and he would do both. He would blitz from a stand up linebacking spot, and then he dropped back as a base DN sometimes as well. So.
Yeah.
He's literally doing everything.
All right. And lastly, fun one to go out on at Mike Dory 1. Strangest thing you've eaten and it was good.
I had octopus in Thailand.
That's not that strange.
Strange
octopus
for me, man.
once a week,
From the
man.
suburbs, dude.
Man, you got to stop living in Lakeville and come to Uptown. Eat all the octopus you want.
All right. What do you got?
Bull testicles.
Oh.
Those can be good or bad.
Okay.
It turns out how you cook them matters, and some people don't cook them all that well. I've had more than one iteration of bull testicles.
I would say when I was a kid, either 7 or 8 or something, and we were at this great crawfish boil down I think we were in Louisiana, might be Mississippi, but the whole sucking the head out of the crawfish. When you're 7, you're like, nah, not doing that. These are creepy to begin with. But then I did it. It's like, Oh, man.
delicious.
That
right?
is the best part.
It is incredible. Yeah.
Really good.
It's like a whole new world. It was great.
Yeah. Oh, I should probably the strangest thing I've had was jellied eel in London, but it wasn't
jellied eel.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't that. It wasn't bad actually, but it wasn't like that good.
Okay.
So I couldn't use it as the answer to this, but like,
What did you like?
It.
A little rubber? Like what was the downside? Like a little rubbery almost.
I think actually it was just the way that they seasoned it.
Oh, okay.
Which I mean,
it's just the
is
flavor.
England, right? So not a huge
I'll say as well,
surprise they
like
don't season it
fermented bean paste. Where
Oh, delicious.
It smells like death, but then you're like, you
Really?
try it, it's like, oh, that's
You're
pretty
kidding
good.
me?
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's great. Well, they put it in the mapo tofu a lot, which is it's one of my favorite dishes.
Yeah. That's all. 38.7. What's coming up? What's coming up for you guys this week? What are you grinding on?
There's a video coming out, should be out tomorrow, previewing the Eagles. And again, I go back and looked at not just 38-7, it's kind of been done, but the 2016 game. I think there's still a lot to take from that 2016 game.
Been
J. Ron Kurst filled in for an injury. Andrew Sendejo that game.
I'm gonna write some form of preview for the Eagles game, and I'm also considering if I have enough time to write like a sort of a fact check, myth busting type article on kind of the most common claims I see about the Vikings that are kind of easily tested, and see whether or not they're true. So I think, for example, I'm hearing the defensive line's not getting enough pressure. You know, Fred, chimed in with that, but I've seen a lot of comments about that, and I don't think that's true. So I'll write about that. Talk about Anthony Barr. Talk about halftime adjustments. Just kind of the most common things we've heard about the Vikings this season to see whether or not they're true.
Dude Up Buttercup. Also listen to Hour 1. We had a good time talking about Rams, talking about Eagles, talking about everything. And hopefully we cheered you up just a little bit. Maybe talked you off the ledge a little bit. A lot of season to play. And actually wouldn't shock me at all if the Vikings pulled one out in Philly. We got final score predictions. They'll be up on the YouTube channel, so check that out. Show's available on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. Give us a rating and a review. Help us climb the charts, as well as zonecoverage.com/machine, your locale for this program. But for Luke and Arif and Eric behind the glass, I'm Andy saying, Annyeong Sayonara, bye-bye. Enjoy your week.